Today, a story about my nitwit Canadian neighbor and why he hates Elon Musk so much, why winners aren't losers and losers aren't winners. Michael McLean, brassballsvideos.com. I am an ex-professional hockey coach, ex-amateur championship hockey coach, turned 8-figure entrepreneur. You can download a free copy of my brand new book, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. The free link is below at brassballsvideos.com. It's a easy read, 22 pages. You can print it off, you can read it in one sitting. You can share it with your family, your queen, your employees, your managers, whoever. My free gift to you at the link below. If you need to get your shit together from time to time like I have, this is the book to help you do it. So we live half the year in Naples, Florida, and we live the other half of the year in a lake house in Canada. And it's very interesting, the difference in the two countries when you're an entrepreneur like yours, capitalist. My friends in Canada, especially the people that I talk to and speak with and see at the rink or see at the ballpark, the subtle differences in the two countries, they're not so subtle anymore. I call America the land of freedom, the land of opportunity, especially in the Southwest Florida area. In Canada, there's a very different, I call it anti-business, anti-wealth, anti-achievement movement that's been going on for a number of decades now, telling people that they're victims, not victors, that they are they're not champions, they're victims of circumstance, that winning is no longer important. A lot of this goes on in both countries, but it's especially prevalent in Canada. So I was dropping my daughter off at school last year. She goes to a tiny private school in Canada. And I'm dropping her off at school one morning, and one of the fathers, which is a pretty rare thing, is actually dropping their kid off at the school as well. And it was one of those mornings, I wasn't in a hurry. I was going to grab a coffee and do some reading. I had just done my road work, and I've been driving my daughter to school since she was 2.5 years old. So it's our time in the truck. So I let her off at the school, and one of the fathers is there, and he walks over to me, and decent enough guy, I mean, harmless guy. And, you know, I thought he was a fairly intelligent guy too. And he says to me, we start talking about internet's providers because we live in rural Canada, so we're outside of the city, we're outside of the town. We live on a 4-mile long lake. We have an A-frame home. My office sits up in the peak of the A-frame. It was my dream to have my desk in an A-frame cottage style where I look 4 miles up the lake. So that was a dream that I was able to realize about 10, 11 years ago. So we're 5 minutes outside of the town. So internet has always been an issue. And when I say internet, like real internet, where I can send videos like this to Mark Andre, my business partner, where I can run webinars and coaching programs and that kind of thing. So I'm talking to this father, and I said to him, he asked me about internet out in the country, out in the sticks, he said. And I said, what we've been using, we bought Starlink, which is Elon Musk's internet program. And I said, we're really, really happy with it. It's been the best program, internet program we've ever had at the lake, and it's incredible. It's a great value, and it's done everything as promised. So we're really happy with Starlink. Well, you wouldn't have believed it. I mean, all of a sudden, this mild-mannered father, I mean, total gamma male for sure. I mean, low testosterone, gamma male for sure. It was like I shot his dog when I complimented Starlink and apparently complimented Elon Musk. Well, this anti-capitalist and this certainly a socialist, and he it was like I shot his dog. So the color comes right out of his face, and he looks at me and he said, well, we have Starlink as well, or we looked into Starlink, and we were going to get it for our place out in the country, but I just cannot support that man. And I looked at my watch because I wanted to head to Tim Hortons and grab my morning coffee. I didn't want to spend any more time with this tomato can, but I couldn't. Yours relentless couldn't resist himself. I said, okay. I looked at my watch. I said, I got 5 minutes here. I might as well have some fun with this normie. So I said, you cannot stand Elon Musk. I said, you can't stand Elon Musk. And I mean, I teed it up. I put the ball right on the tee for him. So he goes all red in the face now, and he says, I just can't stand that guy. And we refuse. I guess he's referring to his wife that keeps his balls in a jar on the kitchen counter, and says, yeah, we just can't support him. So I couldn't let this one go. Like, admittedly, in full disclosure, I'm a Elon Musk fan. I think that Elon Musk is the super entrepreneur, the P.T. Barnum of our time, that we need more in 2024 than any other entrepreneur. The guy is a promoter, he's a dreamer, he's a builder, he's relentless, he's a showman, he is a salesman, he is the ultimate P.T. Barnum entrepreneur. And I love the self-promoters in history. I love the guys like Barnum. I love the guys like Musk. They're larger than life. I mean, this is a guy who spends his time building electronic cars and trying to colonize Mars. So I got time for a badass like that. Are you kidding me? But you have to understand this badass principle, and this is really important. Winners want winners to win, and losers want winners to lose. So whenever you run into a cupcake or a snowflake like my little friend here, you have to understand the source. And the source is, this is a normie guy. He's absolutely put the knee pads on. He's surrendered his masculinity. He works in a job in a cubicle. He's one of those Zoom call guys, works from home. And I saw him one time. The family has a truck, and I see his wife driving the truck, and I see him in the passenger side, like he had lost his license or a DUI or something. But oh no, he hasn't. What kind of a guy in 2024 drives around in the passenger side of his own vehicle, a half-ton truck, and his wife drives the truck? He's in the passenger side. Well, there's your poster boy gamma male. So I always suspected this from this guy, but man, oh man, just bringing up the name Elon Musk proved that this guy hates winners. This guy hates, champions. This guy, it's the only way he can feel better about himself is to tear down other men. So that's what he did. But I couldn't resist. So and this is a writer downer. Whenever you run into a punch-drunk tomato can, or one of these non-believers, or one of these haters, or one of these critics that's never accomplished anything. All hate comes from beneath, right? Nobody that's above you or doing better than you is ever going to criticize you. They're too busy winning. But when you have a cupcake like this, sometimes if you have a couple minutes to burn, like I don't ever spend any time on anti-social media. I don't reply to people. I don't give haters any, or critics or doubters. I don't have them in my world. So from time to time when I run into them on the street, this is my playtime for a couple of minutes. But I do not recommend that you get involved in any of this stuff unless it's a little bit of fun. But the one thing to clarify, these guys, they can't think, right? They're like my father said, they're deep as a puddle. So sometimes I like to take them behind the woodshed. So if you ever want to take one of these dummies, these nitwits behind the woodshed, when they say something completely based on fantasy sold as reality, maybe they're mumbling on about global cooling or global warming or male and female people, or mumbling on about Biden or Trump, or mumbling on about the economy or America or all this other stuff, even Elon Musk of the world, I always like to take them deep to see how much real knowledge they actually have. In other words, I like to expose them as the nitwits and the low IQ poodles that they are. This guy is a low IQ poodle, but I love making sure. So how did I did it? I use the term always, how so? Whenever somebody rips a Michael Jordan, or rips an Elon Musk, or rips a Steve Jobs, or rips a Muhammad Ali, or rips a Dana White, or rips a Joe Rogan, or rips any champion or winner or high performance person, whoever it is, they take a shot at them, right? It's their own personal hit piece. I always say, how so? So after they just criticize the person and they tell you that they can't stand them, they can't never support them, they're evil, whatever it is, I always follow up with the question, how so? That's a writer downer on one of those 3x5 recipe index cards. How so? If you're interviewing somebody, that's your most powerful question. How so? Taking the person deeper into their knowledge base. How so? Well, Donald Trump is the worst thing that's ever happened to America. How so? Joe Biden is the best thing that's ever happened to the White House and the country of America. How so? Joe Rogan is not a real media person. How so? And just on and on. And you'll expose most of these nitwits as deep as a puddle. So my guy, he's anti-achievement, he's anti-entrepreneurship, he's anti-capitalism, and he's anti-Elon Musk. So I gave him the how so. And I said, so you have a problem with Elon Musk? He goes into a little bit. He says, yeah, I can't stand that guy. And I said, well, what do you dislike about him? I don't even like the way he looks. I remember people telling me that at election time, when in Canada we replaced the single greatest prime minister in Canadian history, Stephen Harper. There's no question about it. Stephen Harper will go down in history as the greatest Canadian prime minister in history. 12 years of epic leadership reign in Canada. Our country was on fire. But he was replaced by what we have in there now, Justin Trudeau. And I'll never forget speaking to people. We've re-elected him 3 times. Trudeau's been to the polls and we've re-elected him. Not me. And I've asked people, you would think intelligent people, right? Doctors, accountants, school teachers, whoever. Why did you vote against Stephen Harper? Why I don't like the guy. Well, what do you not like about the guy? Is it his policies? Because you're free to your own opinion. No, I just can't stand the way the guy looks. Literally grown adults, or you would assume intelligently grown adults with IQs, low IQ. They know nothing about the policies. They know nothing about the party. They know nothing about the leader. Well, I just don't like that guy. So this is what I got from my nitwit Canadian friend. Well, I don't even like the way he looks. So you don't like the way Elon Musk looks. So that's the reason you hate on him. That's the reason you criticize on him. And that's the reason you choose not to do business with him. It's a free country. You can do whatever you want. But I love to debate with these dummies because I want to know how you can personally dislike and criticize somebody who's done so much good in his lifetime. Just thinking of, this is a guy who started with his brother. He literally came to America. He came to America, the land of opportunity, the land of freedom. This guy is the American dream. He came to America. And him and his brother didn't have enough money to rent an apartment or an office when they first launched their first company. They were coding. So, college dropouts, of course, right? College dropouts run the world. A and B students work for C and D students, and dropouts run the world. So Musk and his brother couldn't afford both, so they decided on a small office where they worked 24 hours a day. Their one laptop never shut off. One was coding, the other was sleeping. A couple of futons on the floor, and they literally worked day and night. And up until a few years ago, Elon Musk was admittedly working 100 to 120 hours a week. Do the math on that. Do the math on 120 hours a week. Trying to keep SpaceX alive, trying to keep Tesla alive, grinding, thinking, working, barely sleeping. But that's how him and his brother started. Futon on an office floor, showering at the YMCA. They didn't even have a bathroom. Showering at the YMCA and coding all night and then working live during the day. So these guys are literally at an age where most people in their 20s are chasing girls and drinking and partying and going to college. And these guys are putting in 16, 18, 20-hour days. Never, ever does the laptop stop. And they're just working and sleeping, working and sleeping. And then from there, of course, they've gone into the more well-known SpaceX and Tesla and you know, this is a guy who's got $200 billion, $200 billion, and he tells these social justice warriors, the Disney CEOs of the world, he just tells them, he doesn't hesitate for a second. He tells those guys, those passive aggressive, two-faced, ivory tower CEOs with their virtue signaling and with their talking down to their clients and their selling their progressive this and their progressive that and all of their elitism. And Musk is the guy who stands up and says, fuck you. You don't want to spend, you threaten taking your advertising money out of Tesla or out of SpaceX. Fuck you. This guy doesn't put on the knee pads for anybody. And that's why Musk is one of my all-time favorite entrepreneurs. He's right there with Henry Ford, Andrew Carnegie, Winston Churchill, Ronald Reagan as a leader. Are you kidding me? Take your money and shove it up your ass. I don't sell out for anybody. So we need this guy so badly in 2024 because he's one of these billionaires who is like, he's about freedom. He's about, I mean, he buys Twitter and renames it X, which crazy mistake, but who gives a shit? It's his platform. He can do whatever he wants, and he does whatever he wants. But the reason he bought Twitter was to reinstall it as the only free freedom of speech platform, basically on God's blue earth. These other platforms, you're censored, you're filtered, you're canceled, you're deplatformed. But Musk has provided on X a platform for entrepreneurs like you, small business owners like you and me, men, husbands, fathers, a platform where you can speak your mind, where you can speak the truth. It's not a platform of political correctness. It's not a platform of progressiveness, and it's not a social justice platform. It's just a platform where balls to the wall entrepreneurs, men and women, mostly men, can share their viewpoints and not be punished. Not be punished for being a capitalist. Not be punished for being a man. Not be punished for being a husband. Not be punished for being successful. Not be punished for being a small business owner. Not be punished for being a certain side of the political spectrum. You don't get punished on X for being a badass or a leader or a king. So we owe this guy a lot. He needs that platform and that business like a hole in the head. And once again, he walks in there and he gets rid of most of the staff. They're all in their pajamas most of the day, whatever the hell they were doing. And he just goes in there with a broom and he just brooms half the place. And he can do whatever he wants. But man, oh man, we need a brass balls visionary and entrepreneur like this guy. The guy makes big mistakes. He's got big balls. He's got big dreams. He's got big ideas. And he's not afraid. He's fucking fearless. And then we have the guys in the nosebleeds, like this guy, my Canadian pal. I call those guys, they live life in the nosebleed seats, way up in level 500. Elon Musk accomplished more by the time he was 20 years old than this dimwit would ever accomplish in his life. He sold out. The dimwit sold out. Musk went all in. Elon Musk, win or lose, that guy is all in business all the way. I'm not going to take marriage advice from Elon Musk. I'm not going to take parenting advice from Elon Musk. I'm not going to take health and fitness advice from Elon Musk. I'm not going to take lifestyle advice from Elon Musk. But when it comes to entrepreneurship and focus and drive, there's lots of things that I can learn from a badass entrepreneur like Elon Musk. And probably the biggest thing I can learn is things like grit and mental toughness and brass fucking balls. The guy never quits. The guy never, ever, ever quits. And you gotta respect that. Win or lose, he never quits. He never, ever surrenders. He'll pivot, but he never, ever, ever quits. So, my neighbor, he couldn't answer the second question. By the way, the nitwits could never answer the second question, how so, or why is that? I don't like the way he looks. So, I went a little bit deeper, but there wasn't any depth there. Deep as a puddle, dumb as dirt, as my grandfather would say. Dumb as dirt. And I just finished up telling him a little like I just did. I said, well, I think he's the greatest entrepreneur, visionary of our lifetime. I had to put that in there. And of course, you know, he's looking at his feet and his shoulders slump and his, you know, he's one of these passive aggressive guys. He's one of these backstabbers. He's a, you know, weak man, right? And he's got nothing to say. Well, you know, but I think he went home one night years ago and his wife decided that Elon Musk was not somebody that she approved of. So not being a man who thinks on his own, he decided that Elon Musk also was not somebody who he should think or look up to or learn from. So I get a kick out of nitwits. My dad and my grandfather always said, learn from every single person you meet in this world. Every person, millionaires, billionaires, coaches, teachers, police officers, farmers, politicians, bums on the street. You can learn what to do from a person, but you can also learn what not to do. But you can learn from everybody. Curiosity, not judgment, my dad says. Be curious, less judgmental. Learn what to do and what not to do. Everybody's life is an example or a warning. Every person's life is an example of what to do or a warning of what not to do. And we can literally learn from every single person we meet. There's no strangers on this planet. There's no strangers. It's about people. You can learn what to do, what not to do, but there's no strangers. But the biggest thing is winners. Winners want people to win. I want you to win. I want you to be the best man, the best husband, the best father, the best future grandfather, the best entrepreneur, the best community service leader you can possibly be. I'm cheering you on every day. I shoot these broken iPhone videos to cheer you on. I want you to win. And I want other people that are putting in the work to win. And I get rid of everybody in my life that is a doubter or one of these snowflake or cupcake critics. They don't have any skin in the game. They're not in the arena where it's happening. And they sold out and mailed it in years ago. They literally phoned it in. They took a knee. And they said, well, you know, I'm not responsible for myself. I'm not responsible. Excuse makers, do nothings, men into mice. Men into mice. For all his faults, I'll tell you a guy who is not a man into a mouse. No men into mice with the great Elon Musk. So I'm happy to support Starlink. I'm happy to support anything that an entrepreneur does. I don't care if it's a restaurant. I don't care if it's a coffee shop, a golf pro, a grocery store, a jewelry store, the guys making soap. I don't care. I like to support the people that are in the arena. The heroes in the arena, the heroes in the ring who are in there every day. You're battling bankers and bureaucrats and red tape and government officials and nitwits like this guy I was dealing with. And in spite of it all, you get up every day, you sack up, and you get in the ring. That you are the hero in our society. You're the man or woman that stirs the drink, the small business owner and the entrepreneur. You're the builder, you're the creator, you're the dreamer, you're the man or woman on a mission, you're the person hiring people, you're the reason that we got bridges and roads and parks and t-ball places. You're the reason the Rotary Club and the Lions Club and the charities all function. You're the man or woman in the arena. Like my grandfather said, you're the hero in the story. And the rest of these cupcakes, well, they're just part of it. They don't have any impact. They don't bring anything to the party. They're just along for the ride. So that's the story of my nitwit Canadian father and how a person can really sound like a stupid ass, like a gamma male, if you stop thinking as a man. If you mail it in, you phone it in, you spend all your time on your iPhone, all of a sudden, you know, you're in echo chambers, estrogen echo chambers like Facebook and these other places where people are tearing down other people. They're tearing down leaders, they're tearing down other men, they're tearing down the winners of our society. The next thing you know, because you're in these echo chambers, you're listening to these people, you're watching all of a sudden you become part of that and you lose a piece of your manhood. So make sure that you're not spending any time in those rat piss swamps, and make sure you're surrounding yourself and everybody in your family with champions, not chumps, with winners, not whiners, and with victors, not victims. You can download a free copy of my brand new book below, 5 Ways to Unfuck Your Life in the Next 30 Days. That's all it takes. It doesn't take 6 months. There's 5 things I write about. It's a small 22-page book. You put in your email and I'll email you a copy of the book within 5 minutes. 5 minutes, you'll have the book, print it off, study it, read it a few times, share it with your queen, share it with your adult children, and take action on 1 or 2 of those things and you'll get some momentum. Get your life back. This book is about helping you get your shit together in the next month. What could be more important than that? Getting your shit together is the most moral, the most noble, and the most patriotic thing you could do for your country, for your family, for your children, for your legacy. 5 things to unfuck your life and get your shit together in the next 30 days. My free gift to you below at brassballsvideos.com. We live in the greatest time in history to be alive, 2024. You and I are awash in wealth, abundance, and opportunity like never before. A guy like Elon Musk knows that, and a guy like you knows that as well. And just remember, there is no shame in being down, but in this greatest time in history, there is shame in staying down. Man up, wise up, download my book, study it, and let's work on getting our shit together in the next 30 days. The link is below. Until then, be brave, be fierce, be bold, and be relentless.